Happy Hands Knitting Podcast. My name is Nadine, and I'm coming to you from northern New South Wales in Australia, and I'm originally from Montreal, Canada. This is a knitting podcast, as the title would suggest, and today I do have two knitting works in progress to share with you. However, my sojo has been ignited, I guess you could say. What with it being Me Made May, we're in the second week of Me Made May, and I am participating. I spoke all about Me Made May in last week's episode, so if you're interested, you can go there and hear all about it. But yeah, I've been sewing like a mad woman, so I've got lots of sewing to talk about. So if you're not interested in sewing, then after the knitting, you can, I won't be upset if you stop watching. But if you are interested in sewing, if you are a sewist or if you're interested in sewing, then I would recommend watching, because you can check out some very easy beginner-friendly patterns that I've been working on. Okay, so for sewing, I have two pairs of pants. One is finished and one is nearly finished. I've cut out a top, and yes, the last thing that I'll talk about for sewing is I went to an op shop, as they call them here in Australia, or a secondhand store, as I would say in Montreal. And I bought two linen dresses. So I'm going to talk about how I'm going to hack them into something else, because they are not quite the right fit and size even for me. So I'm going to alter them into something that I'll wear. So that, and then also I found a book at the op shop, so I'll share a little bit about that book as well. So did I mention Happy Mother's Day? It was Mother's Day yesterday here in Australia, and also in Canada, and I'm not sure about everywhere in the world, because I know here when it's Father's Day, Father's Day is different. Father's Day in Canada is around, in the end of June, and in Australia, I think it's in September, so I don't know why. But Happy Mother's Day if you got to celebrate yesterday. My daughters bought me this beautiful bouquet of flowers, and actually they didn't buy it. One of my eldest daughter's friends, she has a farm where she grows flowers, and she sells them in a little stall and into some shops, and so she got to go over, and they her and a few friends, they all got to make bouquets of flowers for their parents. So that was really lovely. And yeah, I'll just share, my husband bought this because because of the sheep on. How cute is that? So we drank this wine. It's called Lambrusco. I've never heard of this type of grape before, but my mother-in-law yesterday said that she used to drink that a lot in the 70s. But yeah, how cute is that label? So I'll start with what I'm wearing. This is another ranunculus. This ranunculus I knit out of 100% linen, and it's quite sheer. It's very, very drapey, as you can see. Got a little singlet on underneath, but this is the second ranunculus that I knit, and I like it. It's very pretty. I feel like I may have made some mistakes in here and had to go back and fix it, but yeah, it is what it is. And these pants, my finished sewing object, they are look how cute pockets, the Chanterell pants by Sew Liberated, and I love them. I love them so much, I had to go ahead and cut out a second pair straight away. So I'm gonna talk about these later, but first I'm gonna talk about knitting, because probably most people are tuning in for the knitting. Okay, so my first work in progress is the Felix pullover. I've been talking about this for a few weeks. So I'm using Briggs & Little Heritage 2-ply, which is not the Australian 2-ply. Australian 2-ply yarn would be probably lace weight, but this is actually an Aran weight. And I'm getting there, I'm nearly done. It's a very fast knit. I'm using a size 6mm needles for the body, and it knits up super fast. So like I said, I'm using the pattern for the cardigan, which I have, and just converting that into a pullover version. So I started at the top, but I didn't start with the ribbing. I just cast it on and did the body, and then shortly I'm gonna pick up the stitches around here and knit the collar. That way I'll be able to cinch it in a little bit, because it is quite a wide, it goes to here, quite a wide neck. And also because the pattern is different for the pullover and the cardigan. I wasn't sure how many stitches to cast on, so I just thought I'll worry about that later. So yeah, I finished this sleeve there. Nice Italian sewn bind off. And I'm just at the cuff on the other sleeve. And then I just have to, like I said, pick up the stitches and knit the ribbing on the collar. And then I feel like I'd like it to be cropped. So I feel like I'm just gonna go ahead and go right to the ribbing on the bottom because yeah, like I said, I'd like to wear this with over my dresses, but also with these high-waisted pants that'll work too. Yeah, these pants have got some gray in them, so I thought, although that'll look super cute together anyways. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about that. So if you remember last week, I was talking about these socks that I am knitting for a Bad Santa gift for when we do Christmas in July. So these socks, I'll show you the first one with nothing on it. That's the first sock. This black was just some sock yarn that I found at a secondhand store. Very secondhand store heavy episode today. And this color changing yarn is Drops Fabel, which I got on Facebook Marketplace. And yeah, it's like a self-striping, very, very pretty, very pretty. But I thought maybe a little bit boring, so I wanted to add a little bit of whimsy to the socks. So like I mentioned, my husband has 3 sisters and a mom who are all obsessed with cats. So I thought I would try to add a cat, and I thought I would use duplicate stitch, just poking out the top of the heel. So my idea was to kind of make like a little head coming out of here with 2 little ears, and then I thought maybe like a tail over there. Well, I probably should have grabbed some graph paper and, colored in how I was going to accomplish this, because I just decided to go ahead and just duplicate stitch and figure it out as I went. So the top of the head, I mean, I guess that's not too bad, but if you look at it close, it kind of almost looks like an entire cat with like its little arms or legs there. So I'm not sure if I should restart, if I should just add a tail coming up here, or do you think it does kind of look like a cat's head and I can get away with that? Yeah. I just looked up a tutorial on how to do duplicate stitch. It's very easy. What did I have to say about that? Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, you can see a little bit of the gray poking out underneath, but yeah, it was very easy. I highly recommend trying duplicate stitch if you haven't done it before. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that's a whole cat, or do you think that's a cat's head? Yeah, it's kind of tricky because, when you're knitting either V's or like upside down V's. So I started these socks at the toe. So they're toe up. So basically I'm working with V's. Had I have started from the top, I might have gotten away with upside down V's, which I feel would, if it makes sense, that would be easier to make like a half circle. But because I'm working with V's, it's, kind of a bit more awkward. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking it's a whole cat. I can just get away with doing a little tail there. For the tail, I was just gonna take a crochet hook and crochet in like a chain. I think that'll kind of work. I've done that before. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about those. Let me know what you think. Should I start over? Should I try to graph it out, start over, or do you think that's good as is? Yeah, and should I do the same thing on the other side, or should I try maybe have a profile of a cat, something a bit different? Okay, that is it for knitting for today. So if you're not interested in sewing, then thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. If you are, then here we go. So the Chanterell pants are a design by So Liberated. The fabric I used was a tablecloth that I bought at H&M. It's not an old tablecloth that I'm repurposing as pants, because any old tablecloth that we have is surely stained. in like 10 different places, but I actually used almost the entire tablecloth anyway, so I don't think I could get away with just cutting around stains, but they're super cute. They've got these back pockets. I was really intimidated about trying to do the back pockets, but in the end they were super easy because they're kind of like this shape, and so you just iron, there's like a little cutout of a pocket and you iron it all in, pin it down, and then stitch around. It was super easy. Yeah, I was really impressed. They're very, very, that's not very ladylike. They're very, very wide-legged, which I love, and my girls really like them because they're really into really wide-legged tracky pants at the moment. So they think that I'm cool if I wear these. The pockets are set in, I guess you would call it, and they kind of did my head in a little bit because, yeah, you follow the instructions, and this is the second pair of Chanterell pants that I've sewn. The first one I did in gray, and somehow inside the pocket here, there's a French seam, and for some reason, in one pocket of the first pair, I've got the seam, the little seam sandwich, I guess, is on the inside of my pocket. On the other one, it's on the outside. So I'm not sure which one is actually the right way, and I didn't do that on purpose. It's just I obviously did something wrong on one of them, and in the end, I've done it the same way, at least on both of these, but I've got the seam poking out on the inside. So I feel like I've done that the wrong way, because I feel like you don't really want to be touching a seam inside of your pants, but it doesn't bother me too much. And yeah, handmade, what can you do? I'll show you. I've started another pair. I'll just pull those out right now. Okay. So this beautiful fabric that I bought at a place called My Designs Linen. It's an Australian online store. Beautiful colors. And I originally bought this. I bought it when it was on sale last year at the end of financial year sale, which is, it's kind of like, I guess, kind of like a Black Friday sale in Australia, but we have it at the end of our financial year, which is midway through the year, unlike in Canada, which the end of the financial year is at the end of the year, but in Australia, it's like halfway through the year. So I bought this on sale there, and I think they included, hang on, I think I've got it right here. Or maybe it's in here. They included a tag that you can put inside your clothes. They gave me a bunch of samples of different fabrics. Oh, here it is. They included this tape measure with their logo on it there, which I thought was so sweet. And yeah, it was really nicely packaged. I was very pleased with that. Okay. First of all, let me think, do I have anything else to say about these ones? So the fabric is 90% cotton, 10% linen. They're quite thick, but they're very, very comfortable. And yeah, I've kind of like palazzo pants, I feel, or elephant pants. I feel like in the 90s I used to, when I was in high school, I had a pair of those that I loved. So yeah, they're kind of retro. When I showed them to my husband, he's like, oh, 90s. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I guess I can see it. But yeah, I highly recommend that. Very, very easy. If you're new to sewing, pants are a great place to start. They're very easy and quite forgiving, I feel like. And yeah, okay, so on to the second pair. I'm nearly done. I just have not inserted the elastic in the waist, and I have not hemmed the bottom. That's what I wanted to mention. On this pair, I used the original hem on the bottom from the tablecloth, which saved me a step and has like a really nice finish because it was more professionally done than by myself. So yeah, I managed to keep the original hem. These ones I'm gonna have to hem myself. It's interesting sewing with plaid or with stripes. It makes it quite easy because if your fabric's in the right spot, you can just follow the line of the plaid along. So it makes it quite easy to make sure that you're sewing straight, because I often do not sew straight. It might be a little bit obvious in here, but yeah, the one thing about the plaid though is if you're really fussy, you might want all the plaids to line up. But at the end of the day, when I was making this, I just said to myself, no, I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna put pressure on myself to have all the plaids line up, because you also have to use your fabric when you're cutting it out. You would have to make sure that the two pieces are the same, and that would be really wasteful, I feel like, because fabric is not a mirror image. So it would be, yeah, I mean, it would just waste a lot of fabric trying to get it to match up. And I think it looks a bit funky, not quite lined up anyways. Like even the pockets look really cool. How they're not lined up, I feel, yeah, you can kind of see them a bit better. And yeah, they're really, really, really fun. Oh yeah, I was gonna check those pockets. I don't have a seam in there. And I have a seam in here. There you go. I did that one correct. And if I could pop it out, maybe I could show you the seam I'm referring to. There it is. Yeah, so I can feel that when I put my hands in my pocket, but that's okay, I don't mind. It's a reminder that, that these are made with love and mistakes. So I just have the elastic to pop in there, which is super easy. Now, as I was cutting these out, I had a little bit of leftover fabric on the bottom and along the side. This fabric might have been quite wide. So I thought I would make myself a top. Oh, I did mention that I bought this last year, but I bought it for the purpose of sewing a jumpsuit by Small Museum. I'll try to put a photo, I can't remember what they're called. Super cute with a tight little bodice and straps, and then from here they go out into really wide pants. But I never got around to sewing them, and I feel like maybe I didn't think I would get much wear out of them. But I had a look in my cupboard and I saw this again and I went, oh my gosh. After sewing these pants, I wanted definitely another pair of pants, and I thought, how cute, how cute to be in this fabric. Kind of like, yeah, golfing lady core. I'm not a golfer, but. Okay, so the top. The top that I'm going to make is a top by the fabric store, and it is a free pattern, and it's called the loungewear-set. And I made this set for my mom 2 years ago, and I sent it over to Canada. So it's a top and it's pants. And I've also made a pair of the pants for myself, but I've never made a top for myself. I've never sewed any kind of top for myself. I've only sewed dresses and pants and skirts. So this will be the first top that I sew for myself. Here is the front, and here is the back, and it goes, whoops, upside down. It goes kind of high-low, so it's a bit higher in the front and lower in the back. I was using the remnants of my fabric, so the back actually does not go as low as it should because I didn't quite have enough fabric, but I thought I'll just, yeah, no one's gonna know that it's not, no one's gonna know that it's not quite right. But what I remember about sewing this top was also it's very beginner friendly. The neck has facings, just little teeny tiny facings. So again, it does not use a lot of fabric. This is all this, plus the front and the back, that's all that goes with it. And the easiest way, in my opinion, to sew a rounded neck is this method, where you sew the two together and then you just flip it inside out, and then that's it, you're done. There's no bias tape to worry about with tricky folding, and yeah, so it's super, super easy. So yeah, I'm excited to have that finished. Now, one question though, will I look like I'm wearing pajamas if I were to wear the top and the bottom together? What do you think? Do you think that I'll look like a really put together lady, stylish, wearing a very expensive linen set that she bought at some funky store? Or will I look like I'm wearing my pajamas out in public? What do you think? Maybe when I finish it, I'll for sure have this finished by next week. I'll wear it, and then you can let me know in the comments what you think. Do I look like I'm wearing pajamas, or do I look really put together? Okay, so as I mentioned, I went to the op shop the other day. It's so funny because a couple of years ago, I bought a linen dress that was really way too big for me. And I sewed it into a skirt, which I wear all the time. I love it so much. Actually, I think I was wearing it in the video last week if you want to check it out. But since then, since like 2 years ago, I go to that op shop, not a lot, but I've been many, many times. There's always lots of dresses, and I always look, and I had not found a single linen dress since until I dropped my daughter, excuse me, I dropped my daughter off at school on Friday, and I thought, I was driving by and I was like, let me go check out the secondhand store. I just had a feeling, I guess. A little linen fairy, I think, was calling me because I found not one, but 2 linen dresses. And here we go, I'll show you. So the first one, and again, they are not my size, but when I'm looking at the dresses, I'm not even looking at the style of dress. I'm just looking at the fabric. They're all hanging on the racks. I'm just like scanning, feeling, looking for linen. And I found this dress. It's an XL, and the brand is called Brave and True. And it's kind of like a crisscross at the front and this kind of sleeve. But what I'm mainly interested is the bottom. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did for the beige one. I'm going to turn it into a skirt. And you can't see, but it comes almost all the way down to the ground. So it's going to make a great black linen skirt. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right here, right at the seam. And I did notice that it has a side zipper. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to have to make an elastic casing. So I'm just going to cut above that seam in the middle and make a casing. However, it does crisscross. I'm going to have to think of something to do here. I might just make that the back where it crisscrosses. And yeah, like I said, it has a zipper on the side. I'm going to leave the zipper. I'm going to have to cut it, and I think the zipper will still work. Yeah, the only thing is the zipper will be a bit useless because I'm going to have to put an elastic in there to bring in the waist so it doesn't fall off me. But yeah, I'm very excited. The lighting is a bit weird. I don't have the camera facing myself, but something happened to our tripod camera holder. So now the only way I can use it is I'm looking at myself, which is very strange. But there you go. So I guess you can see how long it is there. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I don't have a black linen skirt, so that's perfect. Okay, the second dress that I found is this beautiful one with flowers on it. So pretty. So with this one, what I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of a similar facing to the top that I'm gonna make, just like a little mini facing inside. I really love the sleeves on this. So what I'm thinking, I'm actually thinking of making this into a top. And I might do the same as that one with a high-low. And then I'm not sure, I don't think I'm gonna have enough fabric left over to make that into a skirt for myself. I think it'll be too mini. I might make it into one to give to my daughters, I'm not sure. I think I do have some mustardy yellow linen that I could maybe use for the elastic casing to make it a little bit longer, but oh, wouldn't that be cool? I just thought I could add like another tier on the bottom of that yellow too. Oh, maybe I'll do that. I really recommend going to secondhand stores and don't only look in your size, look in sizes bigger than you. Probably not gonna have much luck if you look in sizes smaller than your size. But yeah, if you see a dress that you like and a fabric that you like and it's too big, you can always alter it, which is, yeah, really fun. So yeah, that could potentially become a skirt, and this will, I'm pretty sure, definitely become a top. I did try it on as a dress, but I feel like because it goes straight down, wasn't really that flattering on me, or kind of, yeah, just wasn't very flattering on me. So yeah, very excited about that. Each dress was $5.50, which was amazing. And I also got this book, Where the Crawdads Sing. So this book came out maybe 2 years ago, maybe longer, but I remember seeing it in the shops and wanting to read it. So yeah, I was very excited. So that was $2.50. And hang on a second. The last thing I wanted to show is they had a little display where they had like a whole bunch of bobbins and some bunting and different things. And I got this little bobbin of thread. I used to collect these when my girls were little and they would play with the wooden bobbins. But it's actually linen thread, which I've never seen before. It's quite thick. But the reason I bought it was just to have on display, because also it's called Knox's linen thread. And yeah, if you've been watching, you know that my husband and I have a coconut ice cream and coconut yogurt business, and it's actually called Knox and Aya. So I thought, oh my God, it's meant to be. So this plus the book and the 2 dresses, which will become potentially 2 skirts and a top, cost me $13. Amazing. I highly recommend checking out op shops near you. Sometimes there may not be, sometimes a lot of people, like in my neighborhood, a lot of people are on to secondhand shopping, so it is hard to find good quality stuff. But if you go out of your neighborhood, sometimes, you know, go to like maybe a rich neighborhood or somewhere affluent, and then yeah, you can normally find a lot of good stuff. Like in Canada, in Montreal, we used to go to a secondhand store in NDG, and I bought so many cashmere sweaters and, you know, proper wool sweaters that, yeah, they always had really good stuff there. But yeah, that's it for me. So let me know what you're making in the comments. Are you sewing? Are you participating in Me Made May? On the outro, I'll show you my week's worth of outfits that I got to wear. I think we're at day 11 today. No, day 12, I think. So we're getting to halfway point. Yeah, it's been really fun. I'm really enjoying wearing all my makes. I usually do wear my makes, but I'm trying to wear all my makes, tops and bottoms, which I don't always do. And yeah, let me know where you're watching from the comments. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And I do try to post weekly. Yeah, give me a like if you like the video. And I look forward to showing you what I've made next week. Probably another pair of pants, a top. I may even finish my pullover and socks. I might have stacks of finished objects to show next week. So stay tuned and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.